Thank you. All right, so we're on the Mishnah Ayin Tes Amud Beis. An actual, relatively easy daf, at least in the basic understanding of the daf. It's a relatively easy daf. Gershon's already smiling that he has it out for us, so watch out. That maybe he's got a lot of kashas on this daf. Okay, it has no shaykhs to Bava Kamma. This next daf. Ein megadlin. I mean, it has to do with behemoths, but that's about it. Yazok the Mishnah, about 10, 12 lines up. Ein megadlin behemoth daka b'Eretz Yisrael. You're not allowed to have a behemoth daka in Eretz Yisrael. Right? Why? Because they're going to go out and eat other people's lands. Rashi says it's because of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. And Memela, it's going to be Geneva, like what happened with Avram Avinu. Right? Megadlim b'Surya, but you're allowed to have them in Surya because that's not Eretz Yisrael.
You can't feed it with your own.
I said no, you shouldn't have them at all. I don't know. Naftali's asking why couldn't you have them and muzzle them? I don't know. Do they?
If you muzzle them, they can't eat.
Will die.
Yeah, without take care of that.
Out of your land, when you go out of your fence, you can eat your property, eat your food.
The man said Yaakov when Yaakov came to
what?
Sheep and they ate all the way down to Yaakov knows better than me, obviously, but they eat all the way down and it kills off the vegetation. So it doesn't matter if it's yours or your friends. It's all Eretz Yisrael.
If you keep them moving, it doesn't get that way. I mean, the grass grows back. It's Rafal Franklin had plenty of sheep. They didn't ruin his properties. No, they move them around.
It has to get ruined.
Maybe it's Bizui Eretz Yisrael.
You see, by Yaakov Avinu, they went to Mitzrayim. He said they were shepherds. So, what did they do? That's what they did. But
No, I'm saying it's a bizui, or that's just stam stealing.
But what's stealing? Let's say you bring it from somewhere else. What is stealing?
So what are you doing? Stealing? What does it have to do with stealing?
What is to steal?
What do you mean?
It doesn't do with stealing.
What does it have to do with?
Rashi says, Mishum Yishuv Eretz Yisrael Shemaver Sasadas.
Yeah, it ruins the ground.
Yeah, finish reading it. Finish reading the Rashi.
B'chol Sadas Eretz Yisrael Sam of the Yisrael.
What does that have to do with anything?
B'chol Sadas what?
Eretz Yisrael, stam on the Yisrael.
What?
I don't know what the list for words are.
A stam field in Eretz Yisrael belongs to a yid, and therefore, if I let my sheep graze in it, it's going to be grazing from a yid's field. That's what it's mashma from Rashi.
So what about Naftali?
Why didn't Rashi say it?
Aaron, I'm asking him.
Why didn't he say it?
I don't know. And a Hanami, if you're saying that they're going to ruin the Arka, then who cares whether it's a yid or a guy, right? That's what you ask.
So don't let your children into grocery stores because they can take all the candy. What? And the grocery is owned by a yid. So what is that? What is that?
Right. The Elamai.
Well, there's another problem. There's a machlokes tanoim whether a guy can own karka in Eretz Yisrael. What does it mean? Stam karka in Eretz Yisrael is a yid. All karka in Eretz Yisrael belongs to yid.
Yeah, really? You ever heard of the Plishtim? Just because stam karka in Eretz Yisrael belong to the yid doesn't mean they had control over it.
Did I say control or own? I meant own.
Saying they didn't own it. The karka in Eretz Yisrael many times did not. They didn't have control over the land. What does that mean?
It's irrelevant. If it belongs to a yid and I let my sheep graze in it, am I stealing from Plishti or from a yid?
The karka in Gaza at the time of when Eretz Yisrael was controlled by Plishtim, if my sheep went in over there and ate, is that usher?
Yeah.
Why? Who owns it?
A yid.
Who? Who's going to be Tevei you?
I don't know who. What's the difference? If a guy has no kinyan in Eretz Yisrael, then obviously it belongs to a yid.
Who is going to be Tevei you as a mazik? I'm just curious.
that makes a difference to Gneva? Only if someone's
We're talking
Teveya, then
about
I'm a
people.
Gamma.
We're talking about Yishuv Eretz Yisrael.
What?
A long daf.
What is going on here?
I don't know, but we're not even on today's daf yet to speak for parrots.
See, Yaakov,
Yeah.
this is classic Judaism. That the most important thing in Eretz Yisrael and the most important thing we have that we daven all the time, we should have a base of Mikdash. That's the most important thing. That's what all the Avodah was before they invented davening. You went to base of Mikdash and you shechted an animal. That's what the Avodah is. So therefore, of course, we say you can't raise animals in Israel. That makes the most sense to us.
It's great.
The most important thing we have. So you can't raise them in Eretz Yisrael. That 100%. In our Michigan, the way that we think, 100% makes so much sense. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was before.
We need 30 million sheep
maybe-
a year. You can't raise them in Eretz Yisrael. Good.
No, Abba, maybe because what Rashi said, maybe it means because we want the land of
No,
Eretz.
it means because we do everything this way. The whole Yiddishkeit, you scratch your right ear with your left hand. That's the whole thing in Yiddishkeit. We understand that. That's Pashut. That's
No,
maybe
it's,
because
it's
maybe
the next line in the Mishnah. The next
maybe
line.
it's- maybe it's because we want Eretz Yisrael to be populated with people, so we don't want animals grazing anywhere.
Okay, but that's not. It doesn't say. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that reason.
Well, Rashi says
It is
we
mashma the next line though. The
Yeah.
next line of the Mishnah, the Darius you can have.
You
Why?
mean
So
it
that
doesn't mean I
maximizes.
can't make a chamor the gadol door?
Mishum Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, Shema
Chamayr is not a behemoth daka.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. And so midbaris you can have it because it's not going to ruin. But then there's also nothing to steal. A midbar.
Recording stopped.
Why do you all harping on stealing? Where's it talk about stealing?
Because that last word in the Rashi that it has a yid, it has to do with the yid. What does that mean? That has to do. Actually, you were saying
There's a law in the Torah to steal. What does that have to do with raising sheep in Eretz Yisrael?
And Hanami, that's that he goofa. That is the kasha. Why is Rashi getting involved? Who owns the lands?
Because the land, we don't want you grazing animals in a land that's supposed to be populated by Jews.
I don't know if that's pshat.
Why is that pshat? Why is that pshat?
I think it has to be a Geneva thing. Otherwise, Rashi's answering.
Look at the next Rashi. Rashi fears ice in Syria. You're allowed to. Rashi it explains exactly what he's saying in the previous Rashi. If you go to the next Rashi, he's explaining. He reverends everything you just said, and he does not say it's out stam. We don't want to wreck it for people to live there. He said it's out mazeh.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's daf hayomi, not daf hayomi with Rashi.
It's with Rashi.
But it is daf hayomi with understanding. It's daf hayomi with understanding.
I have no issues.
But that doesn't mean that everybody else.
Paris, please explain then.
Parents, you know that if we would switch to teams, you could have side meetings going on, like side by side. We could put people in different rooms and just go weiter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not. It's an interesting thought. Aaron.
They had the caucus already in Iowa. We're not caucusing tonight.
It's interesting.
What is the pshat? I didn't understand. What is the pshat? I think that's why I understood pshat.
No, so
am I wrong?
The Rashi, no, Akiva's right. The next Rashi says that in Syria, if you made somebody's field get lost, so you just pay them for it, and that's it. Why can't you do that in Eretz Yisrael too? Elamai, because in Eretz Yisrael, you're going to be destroying their land. So even if you're going to pay for it, it's not helpful. It's not helpful. It seems like the ikr is that you're destroying the field, but there is some epis about not paying it back or paying it back. Something mixed in with that.
No,
here.
so what? So you have Naftali. What about if you muzzle? What about if you gate it?
What about that's a good question. If you muzzle it, so then what's the problem?
So it can't be only that. There has to be a combination.
Maybe their feet destroy it. No,
it has to be that you're doing something to. I don't know, something Why is Yishuv Eretz Yisrael play a thing in Rashi?
Oh, that's a big thing. We're going to see that later in the daf, right? Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, a major
get
thing.
your ticket.
Deb, another 12 hours of not understanding is not going to hurt you.
Peretz, when you explain it to me, we'll go weiter.
Peretz is going to say that.
Call me after the shear, Reb Zeb, if you're still up after the shear, because by the time we're going, you're going to be long gone.
Peretz is going to call Rabbi Ben and say, "Can you please make a dinner next week?"
I was just gonna say, it's a good thing the dinner season is over.
No, isn't like the Kolo dinner next week?
Oh. Yeah. Anyways, okay. How Maganda Basuria, but you can grow it in Surya, over Midbar Shal and also in the Midbar.
And I thought you were all going to welcome me back. That's what I thought.
I'm very happy to have you back. I'm very happy.
Welcome back.
Yes. Ain Megadlin, were you back last week already?
Yes.
Yeah. Ain Megadlin Tarnagolim Yerushalayim. You're not allowed to have chickens in Yerushalayim. Right? And then Rashi points out a Filu Yisrael. I'm not going down there, parents. I'm sorry, but Rashi says a Filu Yisrael. Right?
These are roosters or these are hens also, or a mixture?
Anything.
Otherwise, the Tarnagoylas, you get eggs out of it. Tarnagoylas is a different story, maybe a different story, because they keep everybody awake. So
Okay, but it seems like, I don't know, from the reason it would be the same. Now, the reason is, meaning Filu Yisrael, by the way, doesn't mean Yisrael as opposed to Goy. It means Yisrael even as opposed to Koyin. Right? Why? Because of Kodshim. Because since everybody was eating everything with hektish there, and chickens are constantly hacking around in the garbage dump, so they might bring a bone that's the size of a lentil from a sheretz, and they're going to make the Kodshim tame. So therefore, no chickens. Rabarim, but there's no chickens. You can't make a korban out of chickens, so that fits.
I don't understand. What are they going to do?
We don't have any korbanos with chickens.
If you have chickens,
they go in the junkyard in the garbage, so they might end up with a bone from a sheret
and then bring it back
and bring it into the house, bring it here and touch meat, touch animals.
And what about other animals?
What? They don't hack around. Animals. They don't hack around in garbage dumps.
Cats.
We're gonna get to it. They're gonna
what do they care if they can eat treif and the eggs are coming out kosher?
No, we're not talking about. They're gonna take the bone and bring it into your house and drop it in your kitchen. And then it's going to touch the meat, and then it's going to be matama, or be matama your dishes if you can, whatever the two mataras are. That's
I don't think they keep food that long. I don't think they keep food that long at all.
And they're going to say,
as soon as they take something, they eat it. I had this Shiloh once. I asked, if I asked your father about giving them water. Chickens on Shabbos, Shabbos. He says there's nothing's gonna grow over there. They eat something and just nothing grows there, and it's true. Wherever the chickens are, nothing grows. Well, so they eat something and they don't keep it over. It's not like ants. They store it up. They peck at it and that's it. It's in their system. It's not like a dog. They hide a bone. It doesn't happen.
I don't know. Okay, right. If we look at Kahanim Eretz Yisrael, and Kahanim can't have it. So in the first one, it's in Yerushalayim, you're not allowed to have chickens. The rest of Eretz Yisrael, you're allowed to, because Kodshim is not as common. But Kahanim can't have it anywhere in Eretz Yisrael. Why? Because the Kahanim are always eating tyrus, trumas, and memela. They're supposed to have it on Paras HaKodesh. So if they're going to have chickens around, it's going to be a problem. You're not allowed to have pigs anywhere, right? We'll see that's the famous story, but we'll see in the Gemara, but you're not allowed to have a pig anywhere. A person is not allowed to, now it says yigadol as a kelev. A person is not allowed to have a pig. It says stam dog. You are not allowed to have a stam dog unless you have it tied up. Why? Because people are not going to be scared. If you have it tied up, people are not going to be scared. Right, but otherwise you're not allowed to have a dog. Right, so when people walk the dog in the street, you're allowed. It seems like you're allowed to have a dog. Just you got to make sure that it's tied up. Ein person nishuvim liyonim. You're not allowed to spread out nets for yonim. Unless it's 30 ris, which is 4 mil. Right, it's 4 mil, which is It's how do you call 4 mil? It's about what the equivalent of walking 72 minutes. That's where
Somebody else's property.
yeah, or according to others, 4 mil is it's shorter than that, whatever it is. But you're not allowed to have these nets, right? Because what's going to happen is other people's birds. If you're spreading out these nets within the community, other people's birds are going to get stuck in your nets. Okay, so Tana Rabbanan, Zok the Mishnah, Ein Megadlin Behemoth Daka Eretz Yisrael, and Megadlin Bechorshin Eretz Yisrael. You're allowed to throw them in the forests that are in Eretz Yisrael. The Surya. So now the Gemara is bringing a brisa that's more maker. In the forest, it's allowed. In Basuria, Filu B'Yishuv, and in Surya, even where people live. And of course, it doesn't have to be said that it's in Chutz La'aretz. You're allowed to bring up Behemoth Dakas. Tani Idach, Ein Magada Behemoth Daka B'Eretz Yisrael, Magada B'Midbar Yehuda. You could have it in the Midbar Yehuda, or Midbar Shepes Sfar Akko, and in the Midbar that's in Sfar Akko. Even though we said you can't have a behemoth daka, but large animals like cows, bulls, ox, all those types, then you're allowed to have that. You spend the whole night on this line, right? You don't make a tzibur unless the tzibur can withstand it.
If the
So
reason
what about smartphones? Why do they try to make these areas against smartphones?
We're going to get to smartphones on Ahmed Bay's Taka.
Okay.
Like Parrot's going to say if we ever get to Ahmed Aleph. But
we are on Ahmed Bay's.
Yeah, the next Ahmed Bay's. Right? And a Hanami, it's, I don't know, do they make a takon against it?
I'm saying people try to.
Yeah.
To make speeches about it. Why?
Right.
If the whole thing was Geneva, then why would you be able to do it for Behemoth Gasa?
What do you mean? The tzibur can't be aimed on such a thing. Otherwise, it sounds like Behemoth Gasa should have the same issue.
But if Geneva, you're worried about if the whole reason's Geneva.
That's a good question. Right?
Then why even
difference?
Just because they can't stand the Geneva will allow? I'm saying
it's not that you're allowing Geneva. The Torah doesn't allow Geneva. It's just that we're going to make a xera to create a gedder around the Geneva, so you don't even come to be a Ganev. Right. Why do we need to make a gedder if we already have an issue of Geneva in our Torah?
If the same question. Right. If the animal did it, you'll have to pay. Right.
Of course.
But anyways, okay. So Behemoth Gasa, Behemoth Daka Eshalavi Mechutzlar. So Behemoth Daka, you can get it from Chutzlar. Behemoth Gasa Eshalavi Mechutzlar. Behemoth Gasa. If you need a Behemoth Gasa, you can't get it from Eretz Yisrael.
From Chutzlar.
I'm sorry. Right. It's not easy to schlep them. Right. Like we said in yesterday's Gemara, that the sheep you can put around your neck and carry it, and a cow you can't. I don't know if that's a tzustel or not, but close enough. So, right, and even though we said you can't bring up a medaka, you could bring it 30 days before Yom Tov, like Rabban, you were saying. We need the animals. How are you getting animals to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim, if you're not allowed to have them? Right? So they gave a 30-day window where you're allowed to have them. Because of Mishnah B'nai Lamed Yom, the same thing before your son's chasana, also, you're allowed to have it 30 days. As long as you don't leave the last one for 30 days. What does that mean? Because a person might think he's going to be smart, right? They allow you to have the animal for 30 days before. So what you're going to do is Purim, let's go for Pesach. So Purim, you get yourself a new animal, and you're allowed to have it for 30 days, right? And then right before Pesach, you get yourself another animal, because it's 30 days before. You're allowed to have it 30 days around Yom Tov time. So then you shech the old animal that was 30 days old, and now you can still hold on to this animal because you have a 30-day window, right? Because if the Yom Tov would go out, and when you bought it from until now, you still didn't have it for 30 days. So you're a smart guy, right? You'll get an animal Purim time, use it till day 29, shecht it, and then get yourself a new animal, and you could hold on to that animal for 30 days. So we're saying no, line name of tlasim mishra shari le'lishuye. So we're not going to say that for 30 days you can it's mutter for you to hold on to it. Once the regel goes away, then you can't hold on to it. All right. So meaning basically you can't pull shtick. You can't buy a new animal a day before Yom Tiv, hold on to it for 30 days. Yom Tiv's the cutoff, finished. All right. Okay. On Tamid Aleph. But Tavach, what about a shaykhet? Right, a butcher. What's he gonna do? Tavach he's allowed to buy animals and he can shech them. Like and he can buy it and he can hold on to it. As long as he doesn't hold on to the last one for 30 days. Aguna from the word aguna, the one that's last. Right?
So he could a butcher could only get animals also 30 days before.
A butcher can only get the animals 30 days before, and then
so in the middle of the winter
before the Shechita day, right? The Yom Hashuk, he starts gathering them before the Yom Hashuk, and then he gets himself a new one the day before the Yom Hashuk. He cannot hold on to that one for 30 days from after.
What do they do in the middle of the winter? There's no meat.
I guess not. I guess they only have the Yom Hashuk. Yeah. Fine. So Shaul Talmid of Rabbi Gamliel Ma'alagadol, can you bring up animals? Amralahan mutter. He said mutter. Patanan ein megadlin. What do you mean? How can Rabbi Gamliel say it's mutter? We just learned a Mishnah that says it's awesome. This was the question. Ma'al lishos, can you hold on to them? Right? Meaning, if you shouldn't bring it up, but if you end up with one, can you hold on to it? Amralahan mutter. He said it's mutter. You're now allowed to let it go out and graze with the Eider, which must be with the large animals. You have to tie it onto the edge of the bed. Right? Meaning you can't let it out of the house. Right? There's got to be something to tying them to the beds, right? From this past week's parsha. Is there something about that? Right? What's the meaning? What's the meaning of that? You have a sheep, you tie it onto the edge of the bed. Is this like having a TV in the bedroom? You have a lamb and you don't let it out. Don't let anybody know that you have a lamb. So don't it's yeah. And Rashi points out though that the Chachamim are choylek and Rabbi Gamliel, because Rabbi Gamliel is basically saying that he found a loophole not to keep this takanas chachamim. You can keep it in your bedroom. Keep it locked away in your bedroom. It's not going to cause any problems. So it wasn't a loy plug. The chachamim are holding it's a loy plug. You're not allowed to have it. Finished. It's an interesting machlokes. Fine. Okay. Then we have an interesting ma'aseh. Toner Rabbana. Ma'aseh b'chassid echad shahya. There was a chassid echad who would cry out from his heart. It means heart. L'chari means heartburn. But he had heartburn. And he asked the doctors, they said there's no takana at sheyonik cholav reseach mishachris l'shachris. He has to suck on hot milk from shachris to shachris. Which means, I think it means every day. It doesn't mean he's 24/7. He has to be sucking on this milk. I mean, we know isn't it calcium that makes heartburn go away? No.
Yeah, Tums.
Oh yeah, so l'chayra, that was their prescription here. And they brought him a goat. The kashule bekari meat, and they tied it onto the legs of the bed. And he would nurse from it from shachas to shachas. I'm assuming nurse means he had to drink directly from the udders. I'm assuming. Liyamim, that would be make it hot. Liyamim nitmusu chavera levakar. Here's where the story gets a little, I don't know what's going on here. So his friends came to visit him after a few days. And when they saw this goat, right? So now they came into his room and they saw the TV, right? So what's going on over here? Chazru lechareim, they went backwards. Amru, list the mezuyin b'beis shazeh. There's armed robbers in this guy's house, right? Meaning because he's doing an isser. See, that's here. Now, what does Rashi say here, Zev? Not the parrots, close your ears. Rashi says here, Roya b'sadas acher b'goizel es harabim. See the Rashi? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 thin lines down in the Rashi. That was their issue. That he's going to steal from the rabbin. What is that? I mean, okay.
I thought maybe he's stealing the goat's milk. Maybe he's stealing the goat's milk and he doesn't pay the goat.
I mean, he stole the goat?
Milk. The goat's milk. The goat still is sitting there doing, minding its business. And he comes along and sucks up all the milk. He says, "Hey, I had my kids next door. I wanted to give them the milk." He says, "Sorry, my health comes first."
Where's the Rashi? Which Rashi?
Rashi, 6 thin lines down. List of Mizuyin. They came in and what does
that mean?
He's going to steal from the rabbin.
So it looks like they were choshid him. They would choshid him, no?
What? They were choshid him. They said, list him as doing. Why? Because a guy comes into the room and he's got a goat tied to his bed. Mamela, he's a list of Mizuyin, right? You need a pshat in that. Why is he a list of Mizuyin?
No, it's not the first thought that comes to my mind.
Correct. And then it's the truth is list of Mizuyin. Rashi doesn't answer list of Mizuyin either. Good, he's a crook, but is an armed robber, right? Okay, another shver pshat. V'amru list of Mizuyin b'beis shazeh. V'amru nichnasen etzlai. And we should go into him. Again, you could ask many kashas. What's with the dan lekaf schus? They're going to visit the chayla. He's got a goat in his room or a sheep in his room, and then they run out of there and say he's a list of Mizuyin. I don't know. So Yashvu Badku. So they sat and they checked into him. The only avera they found was that he had a goat. How do they know this? Well, they have Ruach HaKodesh? I don't know, right? Ba'afu b'shas misasei Omar, and when he was dying, he said, "Yadeani she'ein bi oven ela oven oizayis." I know that I never did any avera other than that goat. Shavarti divrei chavera. I was over on the words of my friends, which is shver because he was not over on Rabbi Gamliel, right? Rabbi Gamliel said it's mutter to do this, right? But he was over on the majority, l'chayra. And then, of course, the obvious question is, he's a chayla.
Maybe he's not a chayla mesukin.
That's what you have to say. But even so, we're talking about a derabanan. Is it derabanan? And
yeah, but he was a chassid.
The guy is dying. The guy is dying. Is that not? You can't get
no.
That.
It doesn't say he was dying.
He just said
he was mashma from Rashi that way.
Goynich beliba, you get heartburn. He wasn't.
Nah, Rashi doesn't say heartburn.
What?
He wasn't able to breathe.
So he had like a heart attack?
Yeah, whatever I don't know what exactly it is. Whatever plidra is.
I don't know. I thought it was heartburn. But anyway.
So he screams from the pain. He's not able to breathe. It's a heart attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Okay, fine. So whatever that story is, fine. Amr Rabbi Shmuel, my father was from the Balabatim of the Galil Elyon. That's Tzvas, no, or in that area. And how come it was destroyed? Shayu Marin B'charshin, because they would marin the raya, but they would graze in the forests. And they would have one dayan, right, to dan things. Even though they had forests next to their houses, and we said before that you're allowed to bring up these famous in the forest. It was only a small. They would. There was a small field that they had to pass through the small field in order to get to the forest, and that's where they went wrong. Right? Okay. So if you have a raya who did tshuva, meaning he was over on the Averes and he had sheep in Eretz Yisrael, right? Sheep, right? Goats, whatever in Eretz Yisrael. Now he's decided to do tshuva. So now he has to liquidate. ASAP, he's being over on the Isser every day. So raya shasa tshuva ain't mechayev us limkar miyad. We are not mechayev him to sell it right away. Ela moicher al yad. He could sell it piecemeal, so that he doesn't lose all his money, which is very interesting.
Not like a supermarket.
Correct, correct. But it's interesting though. I guess we're trying for takonas hashavim. We're trying to get it that he should do tshuva. Otherwise, he won't do tshuva. L'chayra. That's why.
Well, because of the hefzer
Says
meruba.
also tshuva.
He did tshuva. He's not going to do the tshuva, right? The same thing with
Sure,
the
he's
concept.
done.
Because the big hefzer of money.
Yeah.
It's mashma that the Kabbalah La'asid is the end of the tshuva. He's done his tshuva. But now he has to sell off what he had. That's besides for the tshuva.
Correct. Well,
How can you be Mishire? What he has to give back? How can you be Mishire? They ate this much grass, that much grass.
No, not the grass. He paid everything back. If he needs to pay everything back.
Yes, to liquidate his animals. He's being over on the Surim.
Well, Rav Tzviak is saying the Shita says, Shita Mekabetzes brings it down.
Yeah. I don't know that Shita Mekabetzes brings it down, but that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, good. V'chein ger shenaflu leklavim chazirim b'Yerusha. So if a ger yarshin, right? That's another scenario. A ger yarshin, dogs, chazirim, and Yerusha. He doesn't have to liquidate and sell everything immediately. He sells a piecemeal. So a guy makes a nether, he's going to buy a house in Eretz Yisrael, and he's going to get married in Eretz Yisrael. He's not mechuyev to go buy the first house he sees and the first girl he sees. Till he finds one that's proper for him. Right? So that's when I first learned this Gemara, somebody had texted me, a rabbi had texted me a shaila that a girl swore that she's never getting married in Lakewood. Never. And then, of course, she got engaged and they're making the wedding in Lakewood. So I was trying to figure out if I could get a psak from this Gemara for that, but I couldn't. Lakewood is Ira Torah, it's not Eretz Yisrael. So, whatever. So you got, but here it's saying it's an interesting thing that you're not mechuyev to go jump at the first one, even though you made some sort of net. You made a neder. It's also interesting. There was a woman whose son was causing her problems. The kavtza, v'nishba, and she jumped and she swore, any man that comes and takes me on a date, I'm not sending him away. I'm not machzer. I'm not turning him around. And meaning I'm marrying him. So of course, every guy heard about this that wasn't proper to marry and ran after her. When it came to the Chum, they said, what she didn't mean any guy that walks in the door. She meant the first guy that's proper.
Is this a case that's discussed when they talk about Dvarim Shabalev?
I wonder, right? I mean,
meaning that in Kedushin, we talked about Dvarim Shabalev. Is that like an umdana? Like there are other cases, like when you say you're when getting rid of your stuff, when you say you're gonna go up to Eretz Yisrael, right? You sell your stuff, but it's just assumed that you're only selling your stuff if you actually make the trip to Eretz Yisrael. The case in Kedushin.
Yeah. I don't know.
There they explain that it's an umdana, even though you didn't speak it out loud. Meaning it's not considered Dvarim Shabalev.
So right, okay, I hear what you're saying, okay, but then also how do you enforce this? How do you enforce this? I mean, who decides who's who getters law?
Didn't we have cases in the
What do you mean? It's up to him.
It's up to him. It's up to her.
It's up to her, right? What's
right. So a guy, she goes on a date. and the Bezdin says, "Hey, the guy looks like a fine fellow." She says, "Yeah, but he has dandruff." So that's not
Okay,
Mugen.
so it's not Mugen, it's fair.
Is that so? That means that the whole thing.
It's on him.
So what was the whole nether worth then? You're making a nether. So what's the word? Basically, we're saying the nether is not a nether. No, there has to be some sort of guidelines here.
I had a different shayla. How long does it stand? Let's say she says for 10 years. How long is, I mean, how long do we allow them to say that it's not good?
I don't know. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, fine. Kishem Shamru, is that what we're up to? Yeah. Kishem Shamru, Emegada Behemadaka, the same way that the Ein Megada Behemadaka, you can't have a Behemadaka. Kacham Emegada Chayadaka. I don't remember ever seeing Chayadaka, a small Chaya, right? Chayadaka is like deer. That I don't know what else. What else would be a Chayadaka?
Deer and foxes, it says here.
Yeah, but I'm saying what? Okay, it's interesting.
Maybe a kvi.
Is that a chaya daka? That's a behemoth daka, no?
It's a machlokus.
I don't know. Ich weiß nicht. Rabbi Shmuel, I remember Gaden klavim kaifrim v'chatulim. You're allowed to bring up dogs that are kaifrim. Your dog can be a kaifrim, right? No, it means small dogs, right?
But it said old
The chatulim is cats. The kaifin is a monkey. The chuldas noim. What's chuldas b'minei shasuyim lenakar zabayis, because they're exterminators. They clean out the house. These animals will clean out the house, right? My chuldas noim. What does it mean? A chulda from the sneh. Amar Rav Yehuda sharata sharta charza. It's a sheretz that digs, right? V'igad amri charza. And some say that it's an animal that the article types charza as stings, right? Okay. The katini shoke viraya beni vardane. Its legs are very small, and it's raya, and it dwells beni vardane between vered, between really vered is a rose bush, but the thorns. Umay sharza. What does it mean sharza? The metatoi shoke, because its legs are very small, right? So therefore, it looks like it has legs, but it looks like it doesn't. Okay, fine. Amar Yehuda Marav, Asina what's made of Bava Eretz Yisrael. We made ourselves in Bava like Eretz Yisrael, right? So Rashi says that from the Golos Yechanya, there were a lot of people moved to Bavel, and this again is a raya against Yuzev. I'm sorry, right? With the what? Who cares in Bavel? What's the difference? There's no Yishuv Bavel, right? There's a lot of Yidden there, so they've decided that they're going to make a takana. Nobody's allowed to have sheep there either. Why? Because you're going to steal from others. Otherwise, what's a pshat? Right? I've seen it's been a Bavel Keretzol leBehemadaka for Behemadaka. Right? Fine. What about you? Here's another story that's very hard to understand. Right? You have a behemoth daka. Why do you have a behemoth daka? We just said in Bavel they adopted the same rules as Eretz Yisrael. Amalei, the don kaminterulu chayva. Chayva, my wife, watches my animals. Amalei, chayva tikberenu lebenos. So now there's a big machlokes Rashi Tosfos here, exactly what this means, right? Chayva, is this a curse or is this a question? He's saying chayva is going to bury her kids, right? So Rashi seems to say that you're saimach on her, and now she's not able to watch her kids, meaning she's not capable of doing both. She's not capable of watching your kids and watching your behemoth daka, that it doesn't go steal from people.
So therefore, she has to be punished that she loses her children.
No. I think he was asking.
Therefore, women shouldn't go out to work.
I didn't want to go down that road, but I guess it's possible. Well, maybe he's talking specifically about chayva. right?
But what?
No, meaning chayva. Rashi seems to understand. If you look at the Taisus, Taisus says two pshatim. Why? Because she brought up a behemoth daka, so therefore she deserves to bury her children, right?
No, she'll end up. Maybe it doesn't mean literally. Maybe it means they just won't raise them right.
Well, that's the question. That is the question.
No, when he said that, he meant she'll bury him in a way in ruchnis. You know what I mean? She's not going to raise them.
Right.
You don't like the pshat. Okay.
I don't know. It's two pshat. It's hard because look at the next line. How do you fit it in? So kula sheneh the Rav Ada Barava. All the years of Rav Ada Barava lo yakayim zara Rav Huna mechayva. All the kids that Rav Huna had from chayva, they did not live.
Because he said those words, so the words played out like Yaakov Avinu when Yaakov said the betrofim, right? He didn't mean it, but if it comes out of a tzaddik's mouth, so then it's good.
Yeah. And Ochanami, that's there. That's what you have to say. It happened, right? When you say that, which is going to really a segue into the next Gemara, because that's what happened in the next Gemara. So Yikadamri, Amar Rav Huna, Amar Rav.
There's another time he cursed them because of cutting payas in Nida.
Oh yeah.
What? Because what?
He Rav Ada also said there's something similar to Chayva because she cut her son's payas off. And the Mashal explains both actions were needed to justify the curse.
Right.
We have to wait to Nida.
Yeah.
Another 5 years.
It just brings it down from Nazir, not either. We already did it.
Oh, sorry, you're right, Nazir.
What? It's in the Toisus?
Nazir. You're right. I read it.
That Toisus. I thought you were saying something else. Yeah, Toisus has a kasha from that Gemara. Right? Okay. Yeah, okay, we're gonna see in the next Gemara. It's a it's not a continuation, but it's in. So we made ourselves in Bava like Eretz Yisrael behemoth daka, like for behemoth daka. Michi asa Rav leBava. That's when Rav came to Bava. That's what Rashi says. Rav came to Bava. He made a yeshiva there. Right, so lots of people came to that yeshiva. Fine. Rav v'Shmuel v'Rav Asi. Tikalu. There's a lot of things in this next story here. Rav v'Shmuel v'Rav Asi. So Tikalu lebei Shvua haben. They traveled to a Shvua haben, literally translated as a week of the sun. Ba'amila lebei Yeshua haben, and some say to the Yeshua haben. Okay, so Shvua haben is a bris milah. That's Rashi says. Hashem sha'avru olav shivas yomim, because the 7 days passed. So Shvua haben means, okay, that's the bris. Right? And then Yeshua haben, he says a pidyon haben, a party that they make for the pidyon haben. Right? And Yeshua, Metargamin and Purkan. Right? My pigeon. Now Taisus on the bottom, Taisus doesn't like that. He says it's still the Lashon Yeshua is not a way to say pidyon haben. So Rabbeinu Tam says that so it means that they had a baby boy, and since the baby boy was saved from his mother's stomach, so Mamela, it's called the Yeshua, that he was saved, that the baby was healthy. So then I don't know why that's only male, not female. Right? But okay, so that's the machlokes. So what some place can want to learn out from here is that Rashi does not say that Shavua Haben there was a Suda. Right? He says by pidyon haben it was a Suda, a Mishta. By bris not.
So no Suda by the bris?
No Suda by the bris.
Where does it say Mishta? Where is it say
Rashi pidyon, he says Mishta, Yeshua Ben, 4 lines up.
Shem sha'avru olav shivas yomim Yeshua ben Mishta. What? By pidyon haben there's a Suda?
Yeah, Yes,
What are you trying to?
mashma that there's more of an Indian to make a suda by a pidyon aben than a suda by a bris.
You just saved a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what the poskim bring.
We
Now,
do both. Don't we do both?
well, why do we do both? Why do we do both?
Well, you're trying to bring this la halacha?
It's not pro la halacha, because la halacha they say that you should have a bris. You should make a suda by a bris, but from this Rashi is mashmana like that. Now, interesting, because if in case we need something to cover Parsha, if you look at Rabbi Kiva Eger, right?
When Avram did the Mila, didn't he make a?
Yes, right. So then there's riots that are the Mila. He made a suda. Yeah, but this Rashi, all this Rashi is mashmana like that. Right? If you know, look, Shmois Yud Beis is this week's Parsha, correct?
Okay.
Shmois Yud Dalet, I mean. He says, "Tzarich Lomer the Gilyan Ashas. Tzarich Lomer v'Yavasha Metargaminon. I mean, Vayosha, right? Vayosha, yeah, this is Parsha. The Targaminon Uparak. He says the Targum of Vayosha for those that are being Mavaseder this week. See if they, right? He's saying that the word Vayosha to be saved is the Targum is Uparak.
What does the parak mean?
To be redeemed. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So that's the tumult with this Yeshua Zaben and all that. Rav. Loy Ayel Kamei Shmuel. Rav did not go before Shmuel, meaning they all came to this, whatever it was, Pidyon Ben, Bris, whichever it was. Rav would not go in front of Shmuel, even though Shmuel was more chashuv. Adam at base. Shmuel Loy Ayel Kamei the Ravasi, and Shmuel wouldn't go in front of Ravasi. So we have a whole tumult here. Who's going in first? Shmuel would not go in front of Ravasi because Ravasi was bigger. And Rav wouldn't go in front of Shmuel. So and Ravasi loyal made the Rav, and Ravasi wouldn't go in front of Rav, right? Because Ravasi was the Talmud of Rav. So basically, nobody wanted to go in the door first. So Amri, so they said Man Nisrach, who should stay outside, right? Nirsach Shmuel v'nesi Rav Ravasi. Let Shmuel stay outside, and Rav and Ravasi would go inside. So when I asked, in Nisrach Rav or Ravasi, so why shouldn't Rav and Ravasi stay outside? So Rav Milsa Ba'alma who da'avad leila Shmuel. He was doing Milsa Ba'alma. He was trying to be mechazik him or show him respect, even though he didn't have to. Meshum Dahu Maisa Delatya, because of the story where Rav cursed Shmuel. Right? It's a Gemara on Shabbos, where Shmuel was a doctor and Rav wasn't feeling well. And Shmuel gave him medicine, and that medicine caused tsar to Rav. So since it caused tsar to Rav, and he thought that Shmuel was out to get him, so he cursed Shmuel. Right? And he said that whoever gave him this tsar is not going to have his sons are not going to survive him, right? And Mamela, Shmuel only had girls, right? So because of that, so Rav felt bad, so he always was mechabed Shmuel. So again, Mishum Dahu Maisa Delachi Advur Rav Alei. Because of that Maisa, so Rav showed covered to Shmuel. Okay, back to the story. Adachi Vachi, also Shunra Katre Liyada Dianuka, came a cat and bit the hand of a kid, of a baby. Nofak Rav the Darash. So Rav went out and he darshan Chasul Mutter lahorgod. It is mutter to kill cats. Vasa l'kaimoi, and you're not allowed to have cats. Vein by mishum gezel, and there's no gezel. Vein by mishum hashev avedel l'bailam, and if it's lost, don't return it. So Rabban, this has to do with the cell phones. A guy was hacking me last week. I once texted out that if you know a guy has an unfiltered smartphone, so the place can say you're allowed to take it from him and put on a filter without his permission. Because it's damage, it can cause damage to others. Yeshiva Bacher goes with an unfiltered phone. Yeshiva, I think Place may even say you take it from him. L'chayr, this Gemara is a riot. L'chayr, right? You have a cat that's doing damage, right? You're allowed to kill it, and you don't pay for it. You don't do a Shabbos Aveda. You don't do anything, right? Place can say somebody gets a Prosta magazine in the mail, and you see it. Do you throw it out? Right? I don't know if it's based. I don't remember the poskim quoting this Gemara, but that's what came to mind.
So you mean if you have a yeshiva and you know that kids are doing things wrong, you're allowed to walk into the dorm and take it out without the permission?
Isn't this Gemara raya to that?
I'm asking you, is that?
I think so, but I don't remember the person bringing this Gemara as a raya. It just happened to be last week. Somebody was making meshuga about this, like if I have any proofs to this. So Avad, it's a week too late. Otherwise, I would have told him.
Shiach, you know the story about the TV, Reb Shlomo? Oh, forget it. Not enough in the yeshiva here. You know the story?
Came into the dorm once or something?
In somebody's apartment. There was no dorm.
Whatever, I meant the apartments, yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
He came with Benji, knocked on the door. It was 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, knocked on the door. The fellow whose apartment was opened the door, and the guy wasn't dressed also because, and Rav Shlomo said, Benji, go ahead. And Benji just walked in, unplugged the TV from the wall, and they left. They left the apartment with the TV.
There you go. Because it took it.
Right in the middle of days of our lives.
Yeah, Rachamim. Okay. Racham, I would have thought you would think in the middle of Animal Planet. Okay, fine. The Kiva and the Amrit, so the Gemara asks, the Kiva and the Amrit, mutter laharga. If you're already saying it's mutter to kill the cat, mind you, to also lakaima. Why do you need to say that it's also to have it? If you're supposed to kill it, so of course you can't have it. So the Gemara answers, mutter laharga. It's mutter to kill the cat, but isura leka. But there's no isser to have it. Kamash malan, that is even an isser to have it. The Gemara asks, if you said there's no stealing, so my niu su ain't by mishum hashav aveda lebaylam, then why do you need to say you don't do a shavas aveda? If you're allowed to steal it and you're not chayiv out stealing, so then of course you don't have to give it back. So Ravina, no, for the skin. Right, Rachamim's favorite. The skin. The guy can own the skin, right? Why should you take away? Why should he lose out on his skin? Right? Meaning you're not even mechuyev to return the dead cat to the owner so that the owner can get the skin. Right? Fine. So Meisur Reb Shimon ben Elazar, remember Galan Klabim Kaifrin, Bechatulin, the Kaifin, right? We said you can have these small dogs and cats and monkeys and Choldas Noim if Neshasuin Lanakas Abais, because they act as exterminators, they clean out the house. Isn't that fakir from Rav? Like Kasha, Haba Uchma, Haba Chivarya. Black cats, you're allowed to have because they don't do damage. Haba Chivarya, but white cats do damage. Okay. Right?
That's the opposite.
But it wasn't, right? It's the opposite of what we do. Right? The Rav Uchma, the story of Rav was a black cat. How they know that, I don't know, but I guess they just knew from the story. Hasam Uchma Bar Chivarya. That was a black cat that was the son of a white cat. So Mamela, there were still genes in there from bad genes from the mother or father.
Don't you need a black cat? Is that a
Well,
black
we
cat?
buy,
I don't know. Brachas?
I don't know. But we
Just
buy,
see,
I don't know.
Ace Whatsapp or something?
Yeah. But I guess that has to do with damage. When we buy le Ravina, but Ravina asked the child, the boy Ravina, Uchma bar chivara mahu. He asked this question: What about a black cat, the son of a white cat? When answers Kibi boy le Ravina, when the Ravina asked this question, but Uchma bar chivara bar Uchma, he's asking about a black cat, the son of a white cat, the son of a black cat. I said the Rav Uchma bar chivara hava. That was a story of a black cat, the son of a white cat, the son of a white cat. Okay, so basically, you gotta have a yichus brief on your cats now in order to figure out if you're allowed to have them or not. You got to check 3 generations back or 2 generations back to your cats to see what's going on. Okay, Chabad. I don't know if that's where that comes from in the parentheses, right? Chabad, Bich, Bachan, Simon. Okay. These next few lines are a freebie. Amar Rav Acha bar Papa, Mishum Rav Abba bar Papa, Mishum Rav Ada bar Papa. If somebody tunes in now, they're going to think we're in the middle of a scene, right? Amar Rav Abba bar Papa, Mishum Rav Chia bar Papa, Mishum Rav Acha bar Papa. Barmila Amar Rav Abba bar Papa, Mishum Rav Acha bar Papa, Mishum Rav Chanina bar Papa. Right? Masriyan alachikuch b'Shabbos. They said 3 things. you're allowed to blow. L'chara means blow shofar. On a chichuch, b'Shabbos chichuch means to scratch. Meaning, if you get, if there's a, how do you call it? Machla, not a machla, a breakout in town of boils or whatever it is. So you're allowed to cry out on Shabbos, even though normally we don't make bakashas on Shabbos. The delas hanenelas leibim heiner tifadach, a door closing is not going to be opened easily. Meaning, what do you call it? You have a window of opportunity. I guess the door of opportunity, and it closes on you. It may not, it never come back. If somebody buys a house in Eretz Yisrael, you're allowed to write a shtar even on Shabbos, which is a big chiddush, right? Where you're writing a shtar on Shabbos just for Eretz Yisrael, just to buy a house in Eretz Yisrael. So Meisvei, the Gemara asks, "V'shar peranis u'misrakshus v'ois ala tzibur," and the Brisa says any peronius, that any bad things that happen to come to the tzibur can go in chikuch, like this scratching, chagav, or what do you call it? This is like the makas, no? There's boils. Chagav is locust.
Grasshopper, no?
Yeah, zvuv, flies, tzira v'yitash, wasps, mosquitoes, v'shiluach nechashim v'akravim, and snakes and scorpions. Lo hoyu masriyin elatzoyim. They didn't blow. They cried out. So you see that you did not blow for this on Shabbos. The kasha kambalach can be yavish. One is talking about where it was lach, and one is talking about where it was yavish. Right? The Amar of Yeshua ben Levi.
Well, what does this talk about? You blew shofar for?
Yeah, because trying the davening. That's what they did when they had sorrow. So they would blow shofar and those type of things. Right?
Well, it was a magefa, so that's what you had to do.
Magefa, yeah. A breakout of of kinim.
We had it in Tinus, no?
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, we had it last week in the Parsha. I'm saying at least to the Mitzrayim, which is what Gemara says now. Shchin she'evei Kodesh Baruch al Mitzrayim. The shchin that Kodesh Baruch Hu brought on the Mitzrayim, lachmi b'chutz, was wet on the outside, or moist, v'yavish mivim, and dry on the inside. Shenemar he shchin ababuas pareach ba'adam u'behema. It was these shchin, these boils on the behema. The delas hanenelas levim here at the father. It says a door that's closing is not going to be opened easily. Mahi, what does that mean? Mazutra Amar smicha. It's referring to smicha, meaning if you have an opportunity to get a smicha and you didn't get it, so then you're not going to have that opportunity again. Rashi Amar kolam ariyan loy levim here mativin loy. If there's something happened bad to somebody, then it's not going to be so great for him. Right? Rav Acha midifti Amar lo'olam ein mativin loy. Rav Acha midifti says if it's not pshat, meaning the first pshat is it's not going to happen quickly. If you lost an opportunity, you're not going to get it back quickly. Rav Acha midifti is saying you're never getting it back. Rav Acha midifti milsa den avshehu damer, he's going on his own thing. Okay. Balekech bias beretz Yisrael. Kaisven alav oinoi afilu b'Shabbos. It's chaval. It's late because there's a lot in this. These next few lines, there's a lot in Hilchos Shabbos. If somebody buys a land in Eretz Yisrael, you could write a shtar on Shabbos. And most of the Shabbos agadayt. You're going to write. You're writing on Shabbos. This is the right to write on Shabbos. There, Rava there says that it's talking about where you're asking guy to do something for somebody who's sick. So you're allowed to do it because it's what we call a shvus de shvus, a double de rabbanan, meaning asking the guy to do a malacha. You're also allowed to tell a guy to write the shtar. Even though Amir al-Nachri is still aser, the Chachamim did not make it Gezer de Rabbanan, which there's a lot of tumult here because you're still asking a guy to do an Issa Dairaisa for a mitzvah. Not possible.
No, they were, wait a minute, they were afraid that they were going to take over the land.
So what?
They were afraid. What?
Who says you could be over on an Issa Dairaisa? You can have a guy to do an Issa.
You're not, it's Amir Lakum.
But it's Amir Lakum on a Dairaisa. We're not so makel on Amir Lakum on a Dairaisa. From this Gemara's Mashmayena, they have this big Taisus who says it's only for Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. Otherwise, 1 second. If you're saying that you're allowed to do Amir Lakum for a mitzvah, so if you forgot the herring at home and there's no eruv for the kiddush, and it's a mitzvah Einik Shabbos, and then you're allowed to go get a guy to bring the herring.
No, the Yishuv Eretz Yisrael was more cham.
So that's what you have to say. Now, there's a fascinating Ramah that comes up. It used to come up a lot more often, now not so much. The Ramah says that it's not an Issa Daraisa to write foreign languages on Shabbos. It's a fascinating kula from the Ramah. The Ramah
What?
says
What?
yes, yes. It's only usher to write Lashon Kodesh midaraisa. Midarabanan, you're allowed to write in other languages. It's only midarabanan to write in other languages. And this comes up in a hospital, right? Somebody's coming into the hospital, they make you sign. A lady's going to have a baby. They make her sign. They say you can't come into the hospital unless you sign. So one of the kulas they bring is the Ramah, who holds that writing in the secular language is only a derabanan. So if you do it as shino, it's a double derabanan. You samech on the Ramah. The Paiskim disagree with this Ramah, but they do bring it that's what he means here. That's why you're allowed to sign the contract in English or whatever.
Wait a minute. So, of somebody in a hospital. How does it? What's the?
You can't have a choice. You sign with a shino. You're being samech on the Ramah. But let's just finish because it's late, and then if we could. Zomer of Shul Bar Nachmeni, Omer of Yonason, Halakech Ir Be'Eretz Yisrael. One other thing, there's no shaykhs to the other thing. If you buy a city in Eretz Yisrael, so we force them likach laderech me'aber ruchaseh. You have to have access from all four sides. Mishum Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, because of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, right? Meaning meaning if there's access from all different sides, so then you'll be able to. It'll be able to expand the city because you can expand on all four sides, right? And therefore you're all right. Okay, we'll stop there. Say a kill him.